This isn't a campfire, it's a 12,000-year-old crime scene. Buried inside it, traces of something we still can't quit today. Nicotine in a grave thousands of years before cigarettes existed. So who were they, and why were they doing this underground? What if I told you smoking wasn't a bad habit? It was sacred? Imagine you're standing in that circle. The smoke isn't relaxation, it's a message. You've probably smoked, vaped, or known someone who has. This is where it started. 10,000 years ago, no warning labels, no addiction, just ritual. Let's go back, way back, before writing, before cities, before agriculture. Humans have always wanted one thing, to feel something different. Long before tobacco, there was fire, and fire changed everything. Fire meant warmth, safety, but it also meant something unexpected. Smoke. And somewhere, someone noticed, this smoke feels different. That single observation may have changed human behavior forever. Fast forward to the Americas 8,000 years ago. Tobacco enters the story. Not smoked like today, chewed, snorted, even licked as paste. You'd never guess the first tobacco users weren't looking for pleasure. They were looking for visions, connection, answers from another world. In some tribes, only healers were allowed to use it. One wrong dose and tobacco wasn't calming, it was terrifying. Ancient tobacco was far stronger than anything you've encountered. Some species could cause visions, others could stop a heart. So why would anyone risk that? Because the reward felt worth it. You have to understand, early humans lived surrounded by uncertainty. No medicine, no science, just questions no one could answer. Tobacco became a bridge, a way to reach something bigger than themselves. Smoke rises, and to ancient minds so did their prayers. This wasn't addiction, this was communication with the unknown. Every puff carried meaning most of us have completely forgotten. Now picture the moment archaeologists found proof of this, done by accident. 2021, a rock shelter in Utah, nothing special until this. Charred seeds, preserved for over 12,000 years. Wild tobacco seeds, the oldest ever discovered. This pushed back everything scientists thought they knew. Humans weren't just eating and surviving back then, they were experimenting. And tobacco wasn't a discovery, it was a deliberate choice. You have to ask, what else did they know that we've lost? This single find rewrote the timeline of human plant use entirely. But here's what's even stranger, they weren't smoking it. No pipes existed yet, so how were they using it? Likely sucked, chewed, or burned directly and inhaled. Raw, direct, far more intense than anything modern smokers experience. Imagine trying that for the first time with zero guidance. No warning label could have prepared them for this. And yet they kept doing it, generation after generation. Because it wasn't about pleasure. It was about survival of meaning. Every culture needs ritual. Tobacco became one of humanity's first. From North America to the Andes, the pattern repeats. Different tribes, same instinct, smoke as a sacred language. You're halfway through this story, and it only gets stranger. Because tobacco wasn't just spiritual, it became currency, traded across tribes, across mountains, across enemy lines. Even rival groups would pause conflict just to trade tobacco. That's how valuable this plant had become in just a few centuries. Then something shifted the story forever. 1492. European sailors reached the Caribbean and witnessed something bizarre. Locals inhaling smoke through rolled leaves, exhaling calmly. The sailors had never seen anything like it in their lives. Within decades, tobacco crossed an entire ocean. What began as ritual became Europe's most valuable export. You already know what happens next: addiction, empire, money. But the sacred meaning, almost completely erased. What was once prayer became profit within a single generation. And that shift still shapes how the world sees tobacco today. So why does this history matter to you right now? Because every habit has a hidden history you were never taught. What you consider ordinary was once considered sacred. That gap between meaning and habit says everything about us. Ancient humans didn't need warning labels, they needed guidance. We removed the guidance, but kept the habit. That's the part of this story nobody talks about. Tobacco didn't create addiction, isolation from meaning did. Ancient smokers had community, ritual, purpose behind every use. Modern smokers often have none of that structure left. So, which version of this story do you think was healthier? It's not a simple answer, and that's exactly the point. History rarely gives us clean answers, just better questions. And this discovery in Utah proved one thing beyond doubt. Humans have always searched for something beyond daily survival. Meaning, connection, altered states of understanding. 12,000 years later, that search hasn't changed at all. You're still part of that same ancient story, whether you smoke or not. Every ritual, habit, or coping method traces back to this instinct. The need to feel something more than ordinary life offers. That need built religions, traditions, entire civilizations. And it started with something as simple as burning a leaf. So next time you see someone light a cigarette, remember this. They're echoing a ritual older than written history itself. Whether they know it or not, they're part of an ancient chain. A chain that stretches back to a fire pit in Utah. 12,000 years of humans searching for meaning through smoke. That's not just history, that's human nature, unfiltered. And it raises one final question worth sitting with. If ancient humans needed ritual to survive uncertainty, what do you use? Everyone has their version of that ancient fire circle. The question is whether yours brings connection or just isolation. 12,000 years ago, they answered that question through fire and smoke. How you answer it today is entirely up to you. This is just one buried fire. Imagine what else is still underground. If this blew your mind, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe. More buried history is coming.